Previously on the Frontier Farmer. We have agreed that we are going to create a new field. Right, so we can haul the bulldozer back and then we can get to clearing that area. So I'm going to whiz my way around here, make it nice and clear. And that is the area all cleared. Fell our first tree, fantastic. And here we are, towing the last 4 logs. Quite a sizable space this. It has taken a long time to clear, but it will be worth it. I'm going to get this all ploughed up and create our field. Get all the stones collected. Go, that's all limed. Ready for us to manure spread and drill, which is pretty good. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Frontier Farmer at the Dark Forest. We're now in April, and it's a nice sunny day, although there's a little bit of cloud on the forecast. But the first thing we've got to do today is we are back to some good old-fashioned animal farming and tending to our animals. So I'm going to jump in the farm hall, and we'll see what we've got to do, but I think all the animals need some care and attention. The chickens need some grain. The cows need some TMR, the sheep need some grass, so I'll have to jump in the skid steer and get that loaded up with one of our grass bales. And I think the pigs need a few bits of base food and protein. So I'm going to start seeing to them. I'll probably start with the cows, but we'll get all the animals seen to. And then after we're done with the animals, we have got to go and manure spread our newest field, which we created last month. Stone End field, and I think I'm going to be buying a new seed drill today to see to that. Let's get our animals all taken care of, and I'll see you when we're done. And there we go. Skid steer parked up. Such a handy machine this, as it acts as our forestry machine with the buzzsaw and also our bale collector with the bale fork. So we've given the sheep a good amount of grass, 3 bales, and I'm sure they are going to eat their way through this quite nicely and very fast, because yes, we have got quite a number of sheep in there. In fact, they look a little bit crowded for the size of the pen. And we've got a lot of wool that's been produced, so that is good. 3 full pallets and another one on the way. But yep, sheep are nice and easy, just water and grass. We can feed them hay as well. Pigs, yeah, we gave them a dose of everything. Corn for their base food, soybean for the protein, root crop for the root crop, and then barley for the grain, and some water. The cows just got TMR and water. Once you've got TMR, it's quite easy to keep the cows nice and happy. They've got quite a lot of milk there, so we might have to come and collect and sell some. Perhaps the settlement will be interested in some fresh cow's milk. And the horses have had a dose of oats and hay and water, so they're pretty happy. Chickens, they got a nice dose of barley. And that's another thing, obviously eggs is a bit of a daily product, so perhaps we can sell these eggs. Oh yes, crikey, we've got quite a few around the back here, so we might have to do a trip to the settlement farm shop and sell some. But that is pretty good. So I think the next job is, now that the animals are happy, we are free to crack on with manure spreading the newest field. But before I do, maybe it's worth a check-in on some of our other fields. So in field number 3, we have got canola growing, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. We got rid of the weeds previously, and it's fully fertilised, so that is good. We should get a good yield bonus. Now, I do want to change the name of the fields. Field number 3 is not a attractive name in my opinion, so any name suggestions, please let me know. Field 4 over here is where I think we've got barley. That's right, we've got barley. Again, good yield bonus, weeds are all gone, and yeah, it's growing quite nicely. Start to see some of the tips coming through there with the grain. And lastly, we've got Burfield, which has got our wheat in it, and that's growing pretty nicely as well. I think it's a little bit behind the barley, but that's okay. They do grow at different rates. Now, here is our newest field, Stone End Field, appropriately named because there's some rather large stones on one side of it. And we got this cleared out of all the trees, cleared the landscape, and got it ploughed and limed, stone picked as well, so it's ready to be drilled. And I think we're going to go for a cash crop because we don't have any other crops that we really need to produce. So we're going to drill soybeans. But first of all, we need to manure spread, get it up to base fertilisation, and then I think we're going to be selling our previous seed drill, the case, and getting a newer and bigger one. So here's the Limey and Dirty International, and we used the lime spreader previously to get that all nicely spread. Now, we could spread solid fertiliser, but we've got plenty of manure in the dovecote, so it makes sense we utilise that. It after all saves us money. So we'll go and grab the manure spreader, get that filled up, get it brimmed, and then we can get onto manure spreading. And I'm hoping that it's going to have enough capacity to last the whole field, Stone End Field. 22% left in here, but let's get it topped up. Here we go, we can get it filled. And I'm not forgetting that we've got our silage train right ahead of us on the right. The 3 augers, which have all got silage in. And yeah, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to chew through that. Now we've got a few more cows. And potentially we might be able to use them for some other purpose, like extending the silo or holding seed and fertiliser. That might be handy, because our commodity storage shed is not the greatest. Superb. So this should be quite a quick job. So let's switch on. Start spreading. Let's switch on now. There we go. So we're not wasting any. And we'll get this all nicely spread. And I am missing bits. So let's get this all seen to. And I'll catch you when we're finished. And there we are. That's the field all manure spread. And it took a little bit longer than I anticipated, actually. I guess it is now our largest field, so it is going to take a little bit longer. And that is why we need a bigger seed drill, just to make the job a little bit quicker. Now, we did have to fill up on manure from the dovecote. We got about 2/3 of the way through, maybe 3/4, and then had to top it up. And we couldn't top up the manure spreader fully because we are running out of manure, so what we have got left is what is in this trailer. So 8,323 litres. We will have to potentially get some more straw in the dovecote, but I don't think we're going to need that too urgently before harvest time. And we've got wheat and barley that we can source straw from, and that can go straight in the dovecote to make more manure, which is pretty handy. But yeah, we do have some straw in the hayloft, but I'm going to probably keep that just in case we need another batch of TMR or two. We can park up the manure spreader, and then exciting times, it's going to be selling our old seed drill, buying a new one. And yeah, it's quite difficult to source upgrades for seed drills. Our current seed drill is a direct drill, and it can also apply seed and fertilizer, so it does multiple jobs. So finding an upgrade hasn't been easy, but I think I have found just the thing. Now, I will be sorry to see this go because it is a case seeder and it matches our International Harvester tractor quite nicely in that regard. But yep, we must move on with the times, and we are a bigger homestead now, so we need the drilling times and workload to be reduced. So let's go get this sold. Actually, before we do, we have some seed and some fertilizer in here, so we'll get that deposited over at the commodity storage yard because we don't want to waste that, do we? There we go, we can open up and drop off the seed. Oh, I think that is the seed, yep. And then if we open the other cover, we can drop off the fertilizer. There we go. I probably should have come the other way, so it will go in the storage yard, but never mind. We can fill from the big bags. Super duper. And I'm thinking in the future we might look to trade the commodity storage yard for some silos where we can directly purchase seed, fertilizer, lime, and that will get delivered from the distribution centre routinely. So yeah, make our lives a little bit easier, but we will see. There we go, we've made it, and we need to take the drill around the back to sell, and then we can look at what we have got to buy. So for seed drills, I was thinking about this Gill Air Sem, and this is the 6040. It would have cost us $17,000, and it could do slightly bigger, of 6 meters. I think the previous could do 5.4, so not too big an upgrade. But unfortunately, this does not fertilize as well as seed, so we would have had to fertilize separately. And also, it does not direct drill, so we would have had to cultivate before each drilling session. So yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to go with something else. But luckily, I found this John Deere 1590 no-till tandem drill, and this will unfold, so we have 2 drills side by side, and it can direct drill and fertilize as well as seed, which is perfect. It's just within the horsepower that we can pull with the International Harvester. It is a little bit pricey, but I think it's going to be worthwhile to make the job a little bit quicker. So we'll hitch up to this. Unfortunately, it doesn't match our International Harvester. You never know, we might find a John Deere tractor in the future. And yeah, it is not our first piece of John Deere equipment. We of course have the little ATV, but I think it's our first John Deere sort of farming, proper farming equipment, like a drill or, you know, something of that nature. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to use. But yeah, I wonder where we're going to be able to store this. It's quite a big machine. I think you can detach the rear drill, so you can park them side by side. But maybe once they unfold, you can park them in that mode. We will have to see. So we can loop on over here to where we dropped off our seed and fertilizer. Hopefully we can get out of here easy enough. Aha, the cover has opened automatically, sensing that we are near. So we'll see if we can fill this. There we go. So that's both drills filled with seed and fert. That's pretty useful. And oh, we have a bit of a tight turn to take here. I wonder if I'm going to make it. Now, yeah, this is where we are experiencing the true complexity of this double tandem drill. Hopefully it will work in our favour. But yeah, it could end up being a little bit tricky dealing with it because it's quite wide. But let's get it over to the field where we've got a bit more space and we can get it unfolded. And we want to definitely select soybeans so we don't drill anything we're not supposed to. Seems to be fine turning right, but when we turn left it is, I think, snagging on its own hitch, so we can't take tight turns, but that is not too much of a problem. Right, let's get to the opening and see if we can unfold it. There we go. So it is extending the arm out, and that is quite interesting. Oh, they've had a little bit of a clash together. Ah, and they sort of meet in the middle. I thought it was going to be offsetted then when it started unfolding, but that is actually pretty good. I think it's maybe worthwhile keeping it in this position, unless we're driving down some of the tracks. Right, I think what I'm going to do is actually go and fetch a front weight. We haven't had to use a front weight, but now we've got bigger equipment. I think it calls for a front weight to keep the traction on the front wheels of the International Harvester down. And yep, let's head back to the distribution centre and see what they can offer us. And they don't have any new weights in stock, but they have this old concrete one which someone has made with metal bars and filling it full of concrete. So we are going to have to settle for this. I want 1400 for it, but it's 1500 kilograms, so I think that's going to suffice. And I think we can add more weights to the top and to the front if we need to increase it in the future. There we go, we've attached it on, and I think that's about the right size and weight that we need. Don't want anything too heavy. This is not the biggest tractor in the world, so we don't want to bend any front axles from too much weight. Back to the drill, and I'm excited to use this. I wonder how it's going to perform. We'll have to do the headland, so we've got a good amount of turning space. This is quite a wide drill, but because it's a wider drill it should make our job a little bit quicker. So let's hitch up, and I don't know if we need to switch this on. Probably do. There we go, I think I've got that sorted. Now there's a bit of a quirk that you have to turn off the rear device, otherwise it doesn't quite select the fruit properly for both of them. But yeah, we have got soybeans selected, we've lowered both of them individually, and now we are drilling. So this is pretty exciting. Gonna get all the soybeans drilled, see how the tractor performs with this drill, and catch you when we're finished. And there we go. We are folding the rear one back into line with the first one on the right. And I think it's fair to say that that was a little bit tricky. It took me a while to get used to, and I'd say that I've not really got used to it. It was quite wide, difficult to maneuver, and one aspect of the raising and lowering of the tool is you can't do both of them together. The keys that I've got set for lowering both do not work, and that means I had to lower and raise both of them individually, which was a little bit frustrating. And yeah, it's quite a big machine, so the International is right on the limit of pulling it. But nonetheless, we have bought it now, so we'll see how we get on. We'll probably do a season's drilling with it, and if we're not liking it, we can always try and source something else. And yeah, as mentioned, we might look to upgrade tractors even more, because we now have quite a few fields and larger fields, and that will only continue to grow. Just trying to find the best place to park. I think it might be better to actually unfold to side by side again and get it in a shed of its own, and that will probably be the easiest. So let's probably go with the one on the end here. So I was unable to reverse them in side by side, and reversing them in tandem, one behind the other, is very difficult. So what I've done is I've taken off the back wall of this modular shed, and now we can drive it through. Although, yeah, it's sticking out, so we are probably going to have to reattach, unhitch the rear one, and park them individually, which is a little bit annoying. Another con on the pros con list of this new drill. But overall, yep, it's not too bad. It's wider, so we can cover more ground, but sometimes bigger doesn't always mean better. And yeah, I've had to do a little bit of fumbling around to get used to it, and you know, maneuver it around the forest. So potentially it might be that our previous drill is actually better, more efficient. We can do the job faster because it's less faff. So yeah, one thing to always consider when buying equipment. But let me get this parked up, and then I think we're going to jump in the pickup truck and go sell some of our wool and our eggs to the folks at the settlement. In the pickup, let's go grab the trailer and we can get some wool and also some eggs loaded. There we go, got the trailer, so we can hop round the back and get the pallets loaded. Right, I think 2 pallets should suffice, because we need some for ourselves. And also we may look to do some more bakery action, and we could sell some bread to the settlement folk. Let's head on through here and grab some wool. Again, we'll just do 2 pallets because we want to keep some in case we get a spinnery opened, where we could turn wool into fabric, and the idea is that one of our settlers will work there. But yeah, we can sell them some wool initially, and perhaps they'll use it for doing some knitting or whatever else. Or maybe they'll make some nice rugs out of it. Alright, we are back. Nice to be at the settlement. And I think we've called this Lake Point because of where it is on the Dark Forest, right near the lake. Right, oh, there's a settler working. Good afternoon. Yeah, we'll get this eggs and wool unloaded for you. So that's a shame. It doesn't seem like they want wool at the moment, so we will just leave it next to the shop until we have a suitable spinnery set up somewhere, and it'll be fine to store it here for a little while. But eggs they should definitely take. 2 pallets sold there, 4,500. Pretty tidy profit, and that should keep them well stocked for a little while. And yeah, we may have to look at growing some more stuff. Looks like they take, oh, let's open it back up, shall we? Potatoes. Oh, we sold them canola oil previously. Sugar, strawberries, cabbages or lettuces, cakes, cereal. So there's all sorts of stuff we could look to sell them in the future. But yeah, hope you can get what you need. Very quiet, some of the folk around here. I think I saw one of the chaps looking for some firewood, although must be just for the evenings because it's a bit warmer now. Oh, there's a chap enjoying the park, and oh, I think one fella over there looking at what I'm up to. I think he's got used to the peace and quiet of the dark forest, and me driving along with my pickup is going to disturb him. But I think we are probably going to end up disturbing him a little bit more in the future, because the Forestry Commission have been in touch and they want to build some bridges across the other side of the channel behind us that goes to what looks like an island, but it does actually connect over there. So that creek there we are going to bridge over. And then I did ask them, could we potentially build a bridge from our side of the homestead to the settlement? And they are going to review, draw up some plans and see if we can do that. But it will mean that we can get across the water a little bit quicker and hopefully not have to drive too far around to get to the settlement. And that'll save some time in the future, I'm sure, once we've got some productions and some industry set up around the settlement. Alright, we'll drop the trailer off. The animals are looking all nice and happy, which is good. Not sure what we'll be up to next time. Hopefully we've got some materials from the Forestry Commission and we can set about starting to build our bridges. Maybe look to do some clearing of the industry and production zone, because we are waiting for our other crops to be ready to harvest. But nice to have Stone End field drilled with soybeans, and that'll be a nice cash crop for us to harvest later in autumn. But that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, feel free to leave a comment. But until next time on The Frontier Farmer, I will see you then. Cheers all. Bye bye.